Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bella Permata Ayu. My NPM 1821110022, and today I'm going to present about these materials, a practical experience of instructional textbook writing, product or process implication for materials development, and the textbooks as the product. Textbooks are not just a textbooks. They are products that aim to provide benefits. Textbook may aim to meet higher exit rates for learners and higher standards of teaching for instructor. Looking at the textbook in the term of its benefits, we'll remember the multidimensional characters of the product. So, the multidimensionality of the product. As a multi-dimension product, a textbook can be considered a total product with core and additional dimension. The core dimension of the product will be defined according to the user, a flexible set of materials to a clear teaching at the certain level ensuring relevance to the syllabus, and then opportunities for the presentation. Practice and the production without the help of extensive additional material, as well as adequate opportunities to examine learning and work improvement, like the core dimension. So it is with the auxiliary dimension. The added dimension of textbook provides additional benefits. For example, they are easy to use, fun, interesting, and useful. And next, the product from the viewpoint of student and the teachers. The first is the student's viewpoint. Looking at the book from the student perspective first, and on an additional dimension, in particular, the physical nature of the book is important. For age group where the majority of students are in their late teens, their sensitivity to the portability of books is a problem, as they may not want to use bags. Again, their age, their age and their interests, and then what they find interesting and boring has a direct influence on the way they perceive the book's theme and topic content. Therefore, pay attention to page layout and design, use of photos and illustration, and then interesting and fun color in that. For students, textbooks may be a product of convenience and relativity, cheap, and only one among other textbooks they have purchased during their education and not self-directed, purchased without much consideration. The student perspective can also be seen in terms of endurance. Books must be durable so they do not crumble if used continuously. And then durability can also be seen in terms of the product as a whole. Textbooks do not exist separately, but are used as a component of the course. It can even be identified with the entire course as an applied syllabus in several ways. Combining textbooks and teaching or course delivery is very helpful in considering others' user perspectives. And then, the teacher's viewpoint. For teachers, textbooks have to look different. The teacher will use the textbooks many times during an academic year. Teacher will expect benefits from the product, and textbooks are expected to have identifiable differences, benefits compared to other textbooks to the same degree. It is also hoped that these differences and benefits can be maintained through several applications. No matter how the author tries to anticipate the teacher reaction, this difference will worsen over time. The same set of the material will become blunt no matter what, and may also change suddenly. A textbook which in approach and methodology reflects, say, the theory of language learning acquisition may be popular at some point in school history for various reasons, and then suddenly become unpopular or out of the step with other development in school. This is a risk for textbooks. If the textbooks is not flexible enough to adapt to the development of the syllabus, so assessment or teaching methodology, the textbooks will become irrelevant and no longer valid. It will take effect past the sale date. Looking at books from the teacher perspective, their physical or nature books or books, if we include teacher's book and workbooks, is also important. A teacher will often bring home student books and teacher books or material preparation along with student homework. If the book is deemed not to speed up the delivery of the course, teachers have to change the way they teach, and they don't believe in this change. The teacher found that they needed to prepare many editions if the course was to be satisfactory. Is the lesson in accordance with the syllabus? Did the lesson serve its purpose? The durability of the textbooks from the teacher's point of view will be related among other things to the extent to which they can be relied on to provide tools necessary to a clear high-level quality in delivery of quality learning related to vitality and adaptability. This book not only guarantees teacher performance levels, offers support and guidance in providing service, but also the level of learning that is reflected in customer satisfaction. The teacher's book has great potential for change and that can have a major impact on the institutional environment. It can change the teacher's life, setting goals in detail by clarifying objectives. And by placing lesson objectives in relation to broader institutional goals can free teachers from reliance on student books. So, in doing, it can build skill and increase our ownership of course delivery. And then the next, the textbooks or products experience good or service. The product education experience must be durable. That is, it has long-term effects on teacher performance in school and on student performance at school and across faculty. And then dimension of the good or service: intangibility, inseparability, and heterogeneity. Marketing also provides a useful overview of service features. Textbooks have a symbolic function as tangible evidence of intangible product or cause of study. We need to consider whether this concrete evidence has a positive effect. Does the product inspire confidence? Is it promising to the customers? Or does that say the right thing about the kind of service students will receive? Service providers, teachers, cannot be separated from the learning process. Providers and customers, at least in the language teaching, must be in the same place for service transaction to occur. In contrast to the production of service product, textbooks as goodwill products, sold and custom in that order. Lessons are sold first, then product and custom instantly in the classroom. So subjects that use textbooks make classroom a meeting place for two different types of product. And then material development eventually becomes the teacher's subordinate, and the success or failure of the service provided depends on the customer perception in the classroom about the teachers. Therefore, the teacher is the key to success, the most important part of the product. It is recognized that the personal performance of teachers is very important for the success of the service or study program. The quality of the learning and teaching will be modulated from class to class due to the knowledge, experience, skill of teacher, and etc. Two strategies are considered for dealing with heterogeneity and standardization and adaptation. Proper quality control of learning and teaching can be achieved through the importance given to requirement standards, teacher training, and teacher education, as well as research on customer needs and wants. Standardization strategies can also take the form of tactical writing of instructional textbooks, with the aim of providing necessary information to teachers in order to accelerate the delivery of curricula by experienced and less experienced teachers. And flexibility in the delivery of the product. Is flexibility good or bad? Many commercially produced textbooks are rather bland, as is often said, for the obvious reason that they are designed to attract as many users as possible. They are arguably, and perhaps for the same reason, often gentle in approach too. But is this a bad thing? This book is able to accept different assessment methods, methodologies, and syllabuses, making it durable and reliable, and it can be integrated into existing school system quite easily. And the next is the role of the teacher in delivery of the product. The teacher plays a role in the product delivery. The teacher can determine or recommend good books for students to use. The purpose of the teacher's book will then augment teacher's experience with knowledge of the instructional goals and the objectives of the instructional goals. Objectives of the courses they teach, along with knowledge of how to fulfill those aims and objectives. And then the teacher books and teacher trainings. Teachers will have good basic knowledge of teaching and learning, and that the teacher's book can provide an opportunity to increase teacher teaching capital, increasing knowledge, skill, and repertoire. Because this has implication for the size of teacher's book, and because the teaching techniques and terminology are not limited to level and will be relevant for other books in the series. Digital and downloadable master's books using hypertext will promote the idea of teacher's books as interactive. This will also allow regular update. And the next, textbooks as process. The word process is used wisely. The instructional textbooks writing section is only one point in the process. It is defined a point at which efforts are made to bring about theory and best practice as understood and decided by instructions at that time. And then the role of management. Critical action or judgment made by the functional and administrative division in the operational, tactical, and strategic orientation of the school can be influential relationship that will govern decision making regarding textbooks design, such as rating. If we look back at the product, we see that textbooks are a context in which a number of practical and theoretical considerations converge. One might argue that these considerations can be divided into high-level and low-level consideration. However, given the multidimensionality of the product and the role of influence and differences in the product user, these considerations are not easily categorized. However, it is important that the overall objectives of the course and the set of standards are given priority, and that the textbooks is as defined about a set of materials for the efficient and effective teaching and learning of students known to the body recognized at a certain level with defined standards. This principle is the ultimate guide, the ultimate core dimension. And then the textbooks as a means of reflection. The important point is that the ideas in the textbooks are allowed to be shown and taken into account. Meetings closely related to the textbook's development continue before interim and post-production. The discussion and decision at this meeting consider the bulk of the writing of an instructional textbook in terms of timing, and arguably the most important part. This rethinking will not be limited in influence to the design of the textbooks, but will affect to greater or lesser degree in every section of the school. Referring the lesson plan to the syllabus is done by comparing all learning objectives in the textbooks with the syllabus objectives for that level. What was found in the analysis refers to the books analyzed and the criteria we used. One result was a decision to restate and explain more clearly the aims of the syllabus. Okay, I think that's all about this presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.